And that may be also the reason why they're asking some of the involved students to not go to school today. I want to show you the height of some of the grass that we're looking at. At certain points here, this grass is more than 2 feet high. That child is undergoing surgery right now. And just about 20 minutes ago on this side of the hospital, we saw West Palm Beach police arresting a man. One of his biggest suggestions is narrowing the driving lanes on Okeechobee Boulevard near the convention center. So we are going to use our live truck as a prop here, but much of what was focused on in court today was on the engine of John Goodman's Bentley. But all of a sudden, that man started running towards him, shouting profanities and racial slurs. This sand transfer station digs deep underwater in order to move the sand south. They seized more heroin in that time period than in the last 10 years combined, and it's going for as little as $6 a capsule. Some of the properties listed owe as little as $179, but others, like this one on Executive Center Drive, owes the city nearly $20,000. Yeah, we could use a turkey carver. You want to come to the newsroom and carve a turkey for us? What do you think?
Anytime.
Look at that. We're on the spirit of giving, I guess, today. This morning, an arrest in a recent shooting death of a Riviera Beach man. Covering the Treasure Coast this morning, authorities say a 77-year-old man in a wheelchair doused his home in gasoline and set it on fire. And that is not all. When firefighters arrived, they evacuated the neighborhood after being told there was dynamite inside that home. Yeah, no doubt will probably make a very big difference for a lot of kids and those parents. Certainly. All right, Thomas, thank you. Hundreds of students at the University of Central Florida will not be moving into their dorm rooms today. Their new dorm will not be ready in time for the new school year, which starts on Monday. Rick, good morning. You know, researchers are very encouraged by this. For more than a decade, they've been analyzing data with the hopes of unraveling the mysteries of Down syndrome. More than 2,500 people attended the rally at Phipps Park to protest what they say is a lack of cooperation from state officials in the fight against the blue-green algae filled with chemicals and polluting the river and surrounding areas. And you made it back just in time, by the way, with your coffee.
I did.
30 seconds to spare. He walked right over to the break room to get a cup.
I love the little coffee cafe.
Sometimes in life, we make friends in some unexpected places. Isn't that the truth? A 9-year-old boy from Michigan became friends in the middle of a 5K race. He started the race with his mom and his sister, but when he got separated, a Marine came to his rescue. Vanessa Faze has their story. Well, Liz, doctors did everything they could to save that little boy, but now the heartbroken family is gathered at home and relying on detectives to find the man behind the bullet.
We're not doing good, but we're trying to stand strong.
The family of 18-month-old Azarian Collin can't believe he's gone.
He liked to play, laugh. He loved to eat his little chunky self. He's just so sweet and loving. I can't believe somebody took his life.
Palm Beach County Sheriff's detectives say Azarian was in a car with his mother and her boyfriend on Quail Drive on Wednesday when an unidentified man jumped in and he and the boyfriend started fighting. The suspect pulled out a gun, fired a shot, and hit Azarian in the torso. Sherry Payton is the toddler's aunt and says she believes that robbery was the motive. Her sister was in the car.
She looked in the back seat and seen blood, and the baby wasn't crying. I don't think she seen blood running down his stomach and on his hand and his pants.
They rushed the toddler to the hospital for surgery, hoping he'd make it, but sadly, Azarian died Thursday morning. The shooter is still on the run.
I hope it's eating him up right now. So I hope when he see it, he don't have no peace until he turns himself in.
Family members told me today that detectives did a lineup last night, so they are hopeful that that means maybe an arrest is getting closer. But if you know anything or have any information that could help detectives, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 1-800-458-TIPS, and you can remain anonymous. Live in suburban West Palm Beach, Lauren Hills, CBS 12 News.
He was my only child, and he was my world.
To his mother, Ian Mautner was the perfect son, her prince. Straight A's, well-liked and handsome. Here he is at graduation, voted prettiest eyes at Boca Raton High School, and on a trip to California with his mom.
You always wanted to do things with me.
All of that just memories now for Linda Mautner. Less than 3 weeks ago, 20-year-old Ian took his own life by jumping off an overpass in Boynton Beach.
I can't even tell you as a parent.
Linda blames an addiction that started a couple years ago. She says Ian was addicted to the drug Kratom, and that drug drove him to suicide. It's legal and easy to find in stores and at kava bars, sold as powder or in liquid form.
He said, "That was it, Mom. That
I just knew I had arrived at the perfect high.
Linda says once he became addicted, his behavior changed. He lost weight and started spending up to $60 a day on it leading up to his death.
I know he would not have done that if it hadn't been for being jacked up on this drug.
Devin Fox is a clinical outreach coordinator.
It's just like bath salts, you know, and it's just a matter of time before somebody else does a swan dive off of 95 and dies.
Linda is now on a crusade with lawmakers to make the drug illegal,
I want to see this drug banned throughout the U.S.
hoping no other parent will go through what she did.
He was just a special guy, and he's so missed. I loved him so much.
JFK has quite the history here on Palm Beach, and one resident who lives on the island has been collecting items owned by Kennedy and his family for the past 40 years.
This is JFK's passport. This is JFK's wallet that he used all the way through his presidency.
There are collector's items, and then there are these. Incredible memorabilia owned by John F. Kennedy himself now sits in Don Carter's Palm Beach home.
When I was 23 years old, there was an auction in New York City, and I picked up one of the pieces at the auction with the very first money I earned in my new business.
It was $2,000 for one page of Kennedy's scribbles during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yes, you could read Cuba, Laos, Viet.
Carter remembers being in his high school English class when Kennedy was assassinated. Since his presidency, he's been fascinated by JFK.
He represented to most of us so much of a better place.
He's spent thousands at auctions over the years purchasing Kennedy items and has a lot to show for it, including JFK's personal address book.
I'll only open to this page.
And another book that Kennedy was going to give to his parents.
Please accept it now from me with all my love, Jackie. December 1963, a couple of weeks after the assassination.
But for Carter, it's this photo he treasures the most.
Love to look at that picture and love to see the determination to overcome difficulties.
Lauren Hills, CBS 12 News.